Hi. I haven't been on YouTube in a long time. So I'm happy to hop back on and I want to talk today about how to manage feelings and emotions and your mood. It's actually one of the top things I've thought about my whole life because it's been one of the biggest challenges and struggles of my life to keep myself happy, to keep myself from spinning down into the rabbit hole of depression and just feeling miserable. So it's something that I've given quite a lot of thought to. And speaking of thought, I want to say that everything that we feel, all of our emotions, our moods, actually, I've come to believe are created from the thoughts in our mind. And that this morning I was studying A Course in Miracles, and it was this whole section on how we don't really accept the truth of how creative and how powerful our thoughts are, every thought, and that our minds are always creating, even when we're asleep, which I find interesting. And that Jesus wrote in the Course, every thought creates form on some level. And I've been studying that for a long time, and I still don't really fully understand what it means. But something that was written in that chapter really struck out at me, and he said, "You are much too tolerant of," um, what did he call it? Of passive thinking, of letting your thoughts just go wherever they're going to go, and uh accepting thoughts that pull you down. Now this is me talking. i i I realized that in the last 6 months or year or so, I've slowly gotten this addiction to YouTube. Now, part of it is because I was creating a YouTube channel and I wanted to see what was out there. But I've noticed the effect it's having on my brain. When I sit to read a novel, my brain goes, "Ah, this is boring." Or it's like it's like an addiction to this overstimulating clicks, clickbait, excitement. And what I notice is if I spend too much time on YouTube or binge watching whatever, my mood starts to go down, down, down. Not right away. At first, it's fun and entertaining. And then what happens to me, or what has happened to me so many times, is my mood gets um, blasé, miserable, sad, negative, and I can't shift out of it. I'm going to be honest, even with meditation, I don't want to meditate when I feel like that. I sit in silence and contemplate and just am more aware of how shitty I feel. So, one major key that I'm realizing at this stage of the game, and I'm not going to beat myself up for how long it took me to figure this out, was one of the best tricks to keeping yourself happy is to not let yourself get so sad and depressed in the first place. And when Jesus wrote, you're much too tolerant of mind wandering, that's what he called it. He wrote that because it's so important that we are aware of how powerful our thoughts are. And when you're skimming around YouTube, or especially social media, God bless America. If there's one thing that'll make you feel bad about yourself, it's social media, right? So to always stay aware of what you're thinking and how it's making you feel, even when you're zoning out and buffering, as the coach world calls it, buffering instead of really feeling your feelings. Buffering could be drinking, drugs, shopping, sex, whatever you do to not feel. So even while you're buffering, to try to still stay aware, how is this making me feel? And as hard as it might be, trying to maybe, okay, I'm going to turn off the TV, I'm going to get off YouTube, I'm going to get off Facebook, and just go for a walk, even if 5 minutes, even if you just stand outside in your yard and let the sun hit your face and notice a bird in the tree, like shake it off. And the best way to maintain your emotional well-being and your equilibrium and, dare I say, happiness is to be aware of how you're feeling, of what you're thinking, and how especially if you're starting to feel bad, what am I thinking that's making me feel bad? Because never underestimate the power of one little lonely negative thought, because it won't be alone for long. It'll attract more and more and more and more. And then pretty soon you're stuck in this huge web of negative thoughts, stories, beliefs that will bring with them 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, however old you are, or even past lives. I don't know about that, but will just bring like a magnet all the other negative thoughts, the law of attraction, right? It'll just go, yeah, that's right. That's true. That I am a loser because this and all those times I lost, and men are assholes because look at all those men and what they did. Just it's just a magnet, right? That's why I don't believe in toxic positivity. I do believe you need to process your anger, your fear, your pain, your whatever it is. You need to feel it and process it, let it flow through you, but also to wallow in it is is extremely detrimental to your mental, emotional, and physical health. So I know this has been a bit rambly, but the point of this video is to practice mental hygiene every day. Practice being aware of the thoughts that you think and how they're making you feel. Notice how you feel when you're watching YouTube or watching the news or you're on social media or reading a book or whatever it is. Notice whatever you're doing, whatever stimulus you're taking it in, what thoughts is it making me think and how am I feeling? And now we can't avoid all the bad news in the world. There's plenty of it. It's overwhelming. There was actually a shooting at my daughter's college last week, and that took me out for a few days. Even though I prayed and meditated and studied and knew and affirmed the truths, that only the love is real, it still, as a mom, it really shook me. And I went through all those feelings like anger, pain, just really, I felt very, what's that word? I felt brokenhearted and I felt cynical. And for me, like somebody whose greatest hero is Pollyanna, to for me to feel cynical, disaster. I went on a long, beautiful hike in nature, and even that really didn't shift me out of it fully. It was rough, but it did pass after a couple days. So I'm saying we can't always avoid things like, shootings and war. It's everywhere all around us. But we can set the intention that, the more balanced and happier and whole we are, the more we can help to change this world of misery and pain. If we're miserable and depressed, we can't really affect any positive change. We're not good for anyone else. We're not good for ourselves. So I'm putting this video out there and it's a little meandering, but I'm going to let it be as it is because I think that this is where my brain is today. And I think a lot of us maybe have meandering brains and a lot of thoughts. And the points, if I would sum it up into a few points, is be aware of what you think, be aware how those thoughts make you feel, pay attention to your thoughts, and know that your thoughts are creative. Never underestimate the power of a thought. Jesus says in the Course, the mixture of a thought and a belief can literally move mountains. Literally. And you might be saying, that's ridiculous. I'm not Mohammed. I'm not Jesus. I'm not one of those enlightened masters. But I'm gonna say the power of your thought, just you normal human being, the power of your thought and your thoughts are creative beyond what you know. Pay attention to what you think. It will create fear or love. It will create happiness or depression. It will create pain or pleasure, all from in here, your mind. So take care of your mind and your thoughts today. I'm going to take a deep breath and send you so much love and peace, everything that your heart desires. Dear God, bless our planet Earth, loving universe. Help us to get through these days of so much violence and turmoil with a vision for what we can accomplish within our own minds and our own hearts, and then therefore affect change out into this world. Take very good care of your mind and your thoughts and your emotions and your moods today. Mwah. Bye.